Oh shit! I like that. I like the look sideways better.
So that's live on. So we're live here and we're live there.
Oh, I like that one.
Yeah. Did you hit the live on the TikTok one?
Not yet. We're
Not yet.
once the applause starts, then we're hit record.
So I started YouTube early.
That's
They
cool though.
get,
I like
get
it.
behind the scenes.
I know they're gonna be like, whoa, see, light. There's a light. I think the light. This live audience it makes me nervous. All the
Now
time,
you get 3 live audiences.
right?
Live.
All the time. Hey guys, thanks for being on the Rogue Envy Show. This fucking bottles. I don't know why I always jacked it up like that. It goes this fucking bottles with the Rogue Envy Show. I've been doing it for years. Sorry, it ain't gonna have change just now. However, what is not gonna change is the people that we bring to this show, man. Interesting and the most amazing people that I can relate with and share the journey with. So we have someone here who is going to introduce himself. I never introduce anybody. You guys know. I never do. I say, hey, make it happen, baby.
Yeah. So my name's David here. I am a number of things, roles, clairvoyant, psychic, seer, Christian, God, messenger, amongst several others on here. We are live streaming on different devices, so if our eyes are moving all over the place, that's just kind of why here. And I'm also a financial planner and a business owner as well for over 5 years. But really, today we're going to go over the spirituality. So much hidden truths, my experiences as these different roles, as a clairvoyant, as a psychic, as a seer for over 3 years now, doing soul healings with over 300 people, and just my own personal journey. And I don't believe in labels, so I was going to share my journey and some real cases as well.
Okay, I like that.
Yeah.
You forgot to say I'm a veteran.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Right. Say, Marine, I'm a Marine combat veteran here, 05 to 09 myself. What about you, man?
That's why I invited him. That was the
See,
reason. That was
see?
the whole reason. I said I'm going to invite him because he's a veteran.
See, us Marines just get to it.
Exactly. It's like, let's go, baby. Let's go, make it happen. So I'm super, super happy that you're here, share this journey, this time with me, and I do appreciate it. And thanks for your service.
Oh, thank you so much. And you were a veteran too as well, correct?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
So tell me where are you from?
Well, I was born in Wisconsin, but mainly raised in California and Arizona. Yeah.
Okay. So you've been here in a minute.
Yep, I'd say, man, 15 years, minus the Marine Corps.
What made you go into the military?
I think like most Marines, I grew up, right? Mom and dad. My dad was just a workaholic all the time. So like a lot of Marines, it's like, hey, I need to get out of the house. I need to go join somewhere. Let's take the hardest thing possible. And so went in the Marine Corps.
Yeah, there you go.
During the peak of the Iraq War, and you're like, hey, I'm going to be getting deployed. I already know it. So.
Oh man, that's crazy. That's what I tell a lot of people when you go and you're already at war. You're like, oh, I guess I'm going.
Right. It's not a surprise.
I was there in 95, I think, and I was like, there was no war. It was beautiful. It was rainbows and butterflies, and everything was beautiful until you come back. You're like, what war? 2001. I was like, what? Crazy.
Yeah, it changes everything.
Yeah, and it changed you as well when you come back.
Yeah. I mean, I got out. Long story short, I got injured when I was over in Iraq. Kind of my Camp TQ, Camp Fallujah. It's out there. That was my long story short. But at least I got all my limbs still.
Yeah.
So.
and that's what is important as well.
Yeah.
And you have to. Training was going to save you. Everything, everything you pay attention to, you got to pay attention to detail. You heard that all the time during training. And yeah, I tell a lot of people that the only reason that I'm back is because I'm the same color. They thought that I was one of them. So I was like, hey, that's me, baby. What's up? It's me. No, it was pretty. No, for real. Like it was. I kind of mixed with this guy. So it was cool because I was saying that I was from. It was another world. It was fun. It was fun. Fun time.
But as you know, like the hard part is when you get back is like the mental mind game, right? It's like physical is one thing, but the mental mind game is so different from so many veterans.
How hard or how easy it was for you to adapt after you see what you've seen?
So I mean, I got out during the whole OxyContin pandemic. So I got out, and if anybody doesn't know what the VA or Veterans Affairs, that's what VA is. Veterans know out there, but the VA, when I got out, was just a huge pill factory, right? They would just give you lots of
What?
Huh?
What?
Yeah. They give you OxyContin all the time. They give you
still, but
no, hey, it still is. Right? They mailed me pills 2 months ago, man. That I didn't even want.
I don't want this thing.
right? But no one trains you on the mental health side of it. Whether you're a veteran or not a veteran, that mental health factor is just never trained at all. It's just always trying to give you a quick fix, which doesn't help any veteran in the long run.
And that's why you want to help.
Yeah.
This,
This is the spirituality aspect.
yeah, no, I'm on board with that. I'm all about taking care of the people who went there to take care of us. And then when they come back, we're jacked up, man. And bro, I mean, you have no idea what the hell.
No.
They want you to behave when you're coming back. Behave like what, dude? I just come back from seeing my buddy and fucking, you know what I'm saying?
No,
It's like,
I know.
I can't behave. I remember a dude when I was working for this company. I'm not gonna mention any names here. Dude started giving me shit that I wasn't nice enough. And well, I took a customer service job. I'm sorry.
That's why.
Should be nice. Shit. I needed the money, so that's the only people that was hiring, dude. Tons of customer service. I'm like, oh shit. For everybody. So I'm like, oh shit, I'm not taking this job and I'm gonna work hard. And I just wanted to change who I was. I didn't want to be that guy anymore. That guy.
Yeah.
Who helped me survive what I needed when I needed it. So I started morphing into
Transforming and shedding that skin.
Yeah. So that's when you start to lose yourself.
Yeah, the identity of yourself. Yeah.
Yeah. So you're just like, who the fuck am I? Am I the soldier? Am I the civilian? Am I the husband? Who am I? And then you start wondering, and some kids never come back from deployments. And that's what the sad part is. And that's when you're coming in.
Yeah. I mean, I got out in 05, like a lot of people. I just get a little background here before I go into the whole spiritual clairvoyance side of it.
Please.
Right? Just so everyone knows, like I grew up in a typical Christian household, right? Church every Sunday, went to like church groups in the weekdays, went to church camp growing up, just kind of got fed, tons of the church Kool-Aid. Still a Christian here to this day, but not like that way. Went in the Marine Corps, still believe in God, still believe in Jesus. Church kind of fades off and on. Life kind of happens, you get married, have kids, and in your 30s, it's really just about you keep drinking alcohol more and more. Every Friday, Saturday, Sunday, every house you go to, just lots of alcohol. And then being a business owner too, all the stress was building up and tons of stress and anxiety, and being a father and a husband. And my wife, Ashley, and I have been together for 20 years come July. So 20 years, she's my best friend, soulmate, business partner, everything as well. I'd say about 3.5 years ago, I got to a point of like almost a rock bottom, just drinking, stress, anxiety. I couldn't sleep at night. I mean, I was taking like NyQuil at night. I was taking like sleeping pills at night. I was taking alcohol at night. And I feel like so many people out there don't want to talk about that shame of it. Yeah. But man, I was that guy, man. All these sleeping pills, the NyQuil pills, the alcohol, like anything that would help me just sleep, just to forget of the stress and everything was just building up. And I finally got to a point, I was like, all right, God, like I'm doing everything here. I'm going to church. I'm still believing in you. Why is my life going so bad right now? What's happening? Yeah. And it kind of got to a point of like, I got to figure out something different. And I really hit they kind of call it like in the spiritual world, a dark night of the soul. So dark night of the soul, psychologist Carl Jung came up with this discovery, but it's kind of your rock bottom essentially. Because rock bottom, you kind of face a choice in life of either waking up to do something different or like, you know what, this is it. I'm in the suck. There's no getting out of it. So you got a choice to either pivot and adapt, or it's just, hey, it's just shitty. I'm here now. This is just life, right? And you have to find that way of trying new things, trying something different out of the box. And my whole life, no one's ever talked about meditation. Never talked about it. I was aware of it just from studying cultures and everything as well. And so people know too, I do have a double master's degree. Again, we have a financial planning firm, we're very successful there. So I'm a normal guy, just like you and everyone out there. But I just knew meditation for thousands of years helped out people. I never knew, and I started self-studying, started using it on YouTube, videos and books, started meditating on God's word and meditating outside and just self-love and inner peace. Did something called shadow work. You ever hear of that?
No, tell me more.
So shadow work is also a process where you do a deep introspection into your soul. And we all have an ego inside of all of us on here. And the ego tends to get masked as you go on throughout life with all these different roles you have to play, right? Okay. You're a man, you're a father, you're a husband, you work, you're a Christian, you're a veteran, right? You keep masking all this stuff. And in that shadow work is probably one of the profound things I've done in my life, where it might have been 6 months, but they ask you lots of questions, right? From kind of 3 different perspectives, from your own perspective, from the perspective of others, and then from God's perspective, looking down, no judgment, kind of on who am I? what do I like about myself? What do I hate about myself? Do I love myself? Do I not love myself? What are the patterns in my life? So it's a very deep process going through there.
This is super cool.
And I would cry a lot throughout it. My wife would watch me. She's like, what's going on with this guy, right? He doesn't cry at all.
Yeah, yeah.
But I was just at a point at that rock bottom where I said, something's got to give. And I started doing journaling and writing down all these questions and answers, a good 6-month process of doing it. But then eventually throughout all of it, like my wife, she noticed like, man, he stopped drinking. He's not doing NyQuil. He's not doing all these pills at night. He's actually peaceful now. He's not as stressed now. He's sleeping at night now. Like, what's going on with him, right? And she always supported me in the journey. And that's when she just was like, hey, I want to get on some of this, right? I want to try this meditation and the shadow work. And I want to try this journey. Because even though the spiritual awakening journey is for oneself, if you're married or have a partner or have people in your life, you can still share the journey with other people. You can relate to questions and items, but it's your own journey. And it wasn't until I was I'm 38 right now, 38 next month. And about age 35 was the first time in my life I was like, I actually love myself. Because I think as a man, we don't ever think about, do I love myself?
I just found out, I guess.
Yeah, I see. I mean,
For real. I'm serious. Like you always as a husband and as everything, you always protect everybody. You take care of your family, you take care of your clan, your crew. You come second.
Mhm.
Instead of being the source, you are the consumer, and that's like consuming someone else's energy and coming back. It's just impossible to do. So you have to focus on within yourself. I'm sorry, I use.
No, you're good, man.
You know,
You're good.
So yeah, you do have to. I was never taught that.
No, yeah,
Take care
no
of
was I.
yourself, You know, I had to all this stumbling around and learning, and it's beautiful. The journey I discovered yesterday. That's we discovered it.
See, man, that's awesome, man.
It's all about you, baby. It's like there's nobody. You close these beautiful eyes, man, and that's it. Lights out. Nobody's with you. It's just you.
Well, yeah, because as men too, does anyone ever go, hey, do you love yourself? No one ever asks you that as a man, right?
No.
I mean, women, it's more common to say, do you love yourself, right? But not for men. And man, once I finally had that feeling of like, I love who I am. It took 35 years for that to happen, even.
58, brother.
Right? I mean,
58.
it was a profound feeling, and that brought on such inner peace. And that really just changed everything. Once you get that self-love. And for me, God's always my center. And, people want to say, let's throw it out there. But when I say God, you might say source, you might say energy, you might say one. For me, it's God. For Christians out there, the Trinity is God, Father, Holy Spirit, 3 or 1, 1 is 3. So we'll just say God, keep it easy, right? Overall for myself here. But that's always been my center, and love, because God is love and love is God. And so I just say love. Love operates everything. And once I had that self-love, it was just such a profound thing. And even my wife, Ashley, on her own journey, she eventually got to a spot of like, she thought she always loved herself, but then doing that shadow work and the meditation and us on that journey together on her own accord, one day she just finally started crying. She's like, wow, I love myself. I thought I always did, but I guess I never really did. But now I love myself.
Yeah, it's a different type of love.
Oh, absolutely.
It's like, this is who the fuck you are. This is it right here. There's nobody else. This is you, and it feels amazing.
Yeah, it's profound. It's profound. And my whole life, like I said, the sad thing is I went to so many mega churches and get very churchy, right? They never once talked about self-love. They never once talked about self-healing, right? It was always, hey, you have to count on the physical church to help you. You have to rely on an actual physical human in church to help you. You have to do this to help you. It's like, why can't God heal me from within? Why can't God allow me to love myself? I don't need to have you or a building or anybody else for that love to happen. And it just comes down to power, control, and fear. Right? Because the scariest thing is an awakened soul who loves themselves that believes in God in their own way. Right? Because then once that happens, you don't fear anything.
Correct. Right? This is different.
Right? And now everyone that's in power and control, they fear you.
Because they can't control it.
No.
Because that's what some places are. It's about controlling masses.
Absolutely.
So it's when they discover that they cannot control it. Like I tell people, we need those people.
Oh yeah, 100%.
We need them to do that job.
Yeah.
Because so we can wake up. Because without them, I'll be like in La La Land as well.
Well, I think
so
like you and I, right? We have no judgment towards anybody because we're all there. So it doesn't matter who you are. It's like we're all on a journey, but we have just seen a lot in our lives. And I didn't grow up in a a happy childhood. Sure, my mom and dad were married together, brother, sister, they're still together to this day. But again, my dad was very workaholic, very verbal and physically abusive towards me my whole life. Growing up, a lot of resentment. So I didn't grow up with this like butterflies and rainbow type world that people want to see. You must have had an amazing household. I lived in fear most of my childhood, right? Sure, mom and dad, great, provided for me, but a lot of fear in my childhood.
Yeah.
And the Marine Corps and all this stuff. And that's why I think too, like being a person, right, especially a man, I want to help out so many more men out there because of that stress. And back to my journey about 3 years ago, I never wanted a spiritual gift. I never sought to be a clairvoyant or a psychic or a soul healer. That was never the agenda. It was just, I got to get rid of this stress. I got to get rid of this fear. I got to find more self-love. And in doing so, to continue his journey every day, God gave me these gifts that have come about.
What do you do every morning? What's your routine in the morning?
So I get up around 5. I like to have like an hour before I get the kids up for school. So it's kind of like my hour before the kids get up and the day gets going. So I get my coffee and I kind of just go outside. I have like a little waterfall built out there. And I kind of just I'll play some. I'll play some. I built that. See, as veterans, build their own stuff.
Yeah, I was like, well, let me see how to do it.
And so, I think for us, just sitting outside grounding, and I'll have YouTube and I'll play affirmations in the morning and positive affirmations, or a lot of gratitudes in the morning, or I'll just kind of sit there and just kind of drink my coffee. And I have birds all around. I got a bird feeder, so all the birds are all around me, and I kind of just sit there in solitude with God. I kind of go, hey, like, amazing day. Thanks for love. I'm open to all opportunities, and whatever comes may come. Things like this. But I think you have to have that gratitude and that grounding. Otherwise, if I just got up when the kids did, there'd be no me time in the morning, and then my day is off balance.
Okay, so that's how you start normally.
Yeah,
being grateful.
Being grateful, having gratitude, no TV or social media. Again, other than affirmations on my phone. That's about it for my day. But yeah, the spiritual awakening. I'll tell you about the demons and angels and the devil, man.
Well, tell me more of that.
I might get emotional here. So you guys know too, is whenever I do this, right, I believe the devil, when someone like me who has such a light with God comes out, tries to stop anything. So like on the way over here, crazy things happened. In here right now, he knows there's light over here. The light bulb blew up literally a few minutes prior to this even starting, and smoke started coming out of this thing here.
It smelled like horrible.
And so I believe that whenever the devil, will call it, knows that someone, it doesn't matter anybody out there, is about to have their light expanded. The devil wants to stop that, obviously. And, oh man, I went through a solid 3 weeks of just nightmarish hell with all these demons would be attacking me in my sleep. In my everyday life, they would come. And time no longer matters when you're sleeping because it just feels like a whole day in the matter of a few hours. But I would just have these nightmarish dreams. And as a father and a husband, your nightmares are like, what's happening to my kids? What's happening to my wife? And man, I would just live these super realistic dreams of where horrible things happen to my kids. Horrible things happen to my wife. And it was like I was living it for months and months and months. And it was like the demons trying to stop me from going on this journey of God and going on this journey of this light awakening. And as my light got stronger and stronger, got to a point like this Godzilla devil thing just kind of came out. It's not like the red devil horns, right? It's just this scary thing that makes all your hair stand up and everything. And I was like a little ant, this Godzilla thing. And it's like, hey, if you don't stop this right now, all these dreams about these horrible things happening to your kids and your wife and your legs and everything, it's all going to come true. You better stop this. You better stop. But I just always felt this light within me, and God's light was always within me. And God's always just like, hey, listen, like, as long as you keep believing, I got you. Nothing's going to happen. And then finally one night, man, I go to let's call it dimensions. And I still remember this. It was as if I went somewhere, a very scary, dark place, and I had 20 or 30 just monster-looking things all around me, and I was just laying down, face down on this pit, and I was just getting stomped on, man, just getting stomped on, and I just couldn't get up, couldn't breathe. All my bones were breaking. I could feel it when I was sleeping, and then like just out of nowhere, like this light of God just came in, and like an atomic bomb, this light of God just blew all these demons out. And then I got up in the morning, my lower back was in severe pain. I couldn't even stand up. Damn. I literally was crawling to the bathroom. I couldn't even stand up and go to the bathroom. My wife's like, what happened? And I told her, I literally in my sleep was so broken that when I woke up physically, my physical real body, I had to literally crawl on my hands and knees to the toilet just to go to the bathroom. No way. I couldn't even walk, man. And then I had to go just pray to God throughout the day. And then I'd say around lunchtime, like I was healed. God's like, hey, like, like you made it. You made it through all these trials, all these obstacles, severe darkness for years and years. But the devil really wanted to stop that light just being emerged, because the devil knows, hey, God's going to use this guy for something. We got to try to stop him any way we can, right? Whether it was real world financial issues, real world drugs and alcohol issues, or in your dreamland that's so real, it's trying to stop you from that stuff.
Wow. Jeez. And that thing it happens.
Oh, it happens, man.
Because no, for real, because you're doing something good. You're trying to do something good.
Yeah.
And then obviously it has to be opposite. For every positive, there's a negative.
Absolutely, yeah.
So I'll be like, no, I'm out.
It was intense, man. And again, it's living these real things, and that's why I don't use the word label. And I want to share people here tonight. It's like, you guys can put the labels on me as you want. I say words like clairvoyant or psychic, or I say seer or messenger to give some context to kind of what I'm talking about. Even astral projection, whatever it might be. But in the end, and I bring this book here tonight because it's just one big book over. It's a Christian Bible, but it's a study Bible, and it's like twice as thick because it breaks down more and more sentences in here. So I always use this, but then I always go on the internet, and I probably spend 10 hours every week just learning different esoteric items, different occult items, different ancient items, right? And a lot of people don't even know in the Bible when it comes to Jesus, for example. They don't even know that back when Jesus was around, there was an ancient, I call it mysticism now, but the Essenes, Essene, I think that's how I spell it, but the Essenes were kind of like the mystic Jewish religion back then, right? And a lot of times that's where Jesus would kind of go during those missing years, age 12 to 30. That's where a lot of scholars have said that's what Jesus would kind of be around, is that Essene culture. And even prior to that, there was what's called Hermeticism. So Hermeticism has 7 principles. A lot of people have heard as above, so below, as above. Have you heard that?
Yeah.
Right. So that comes from Hermeticism. We're talking about maybe 2000 BC.
Yeah, that's
right, and that's called the principle of correspondence, or the law of correspondence, is one of the 7 in Hermeticism. So people always want to say, hey, my church never talked about that. Just because your church didn't tell you the truth of what's been going on in Christianity, because the church doesn't want to tell you the truth of all those missing years of Jesus, it doesn't mean it's not real, right? And it doesn't take away from who Jesus was or who Christianity is, but there's so much more out there, which is why I spend so much time just reading real books, talking to different scholars, having an open mind to all these things. Because nowadays we have this term New Age, but New Age is just another term for mysticism, occult, esoteric. It's tomato. It's been around for thousands of years.
Yeah, doing the same thing.
Right? Yeah.
Different players.
The different things. Yeah. And for me personally, I don't ever use tarot cards. I don't have a bunch of crystals. I don't have any of that. Because for me, my power is always within me. And what people don't understand the saying is, right, because God, or the all, or the I am, makes everything, including you, including me. Therefore, God is me. Therefore, I am with God. Therefore, I'm with all, right? And people hear that and they kind of go, did you just say you're God? No, that's not what I said, right? You have to understand, if God makes everything, right, then God is me, God is you, we're one together, right? That's why we're all connected in this invisible energy field, because God's one with everyone out there.
That's what Jesus used to say.
Right? And the way, the truth, and the light.
Yeah, they confuse the message.
They do. And so I guess sharing some examples about my gifts. I own a virtual business, and I'm so glad for that, work from home, because if I was around people all the time, it would be quite interesting. But whenever.
Why?
So let me tell you why. So my wife knows this too, and again, Ashley's amazing. But for these last 3 years now, whenever we go to any restaurant, with my kids even, or no kids, or my wife and I, any restaurant, a grocery store, my gym especially, I'm like the spirit guy at the gym. Anywhere I go, I believe that if God says, David, I want you to give a message, I literally, in a restaurant, at a grocery store, at the kids' playground, the kids' school, at the gym, I'll give the message to anybody.
No way.
Anybody, man. I do it all the time. And it always happens, and I could be anywhere, and people always want to go, what's going on? Well, I believe I could be walking right now. Let's say this is a gym, right? And I have no idea who you are. And you're over there pumping some weights. And I'm over here pumping my weights with my wife. God would just say, hey, David, you see that guy over there in the red shirt? Go walk over there. Tell him that his Aunt Linda, who passed away 9 years ago from cancer, says, I love you, and to give you a yellow flower.
Real.
And I always do that. It's very detailed. And I'll always pause anywhere I'm at. My wife's always there. Otherwise, people kind of think I'm crazy otherwise. But I always pause anywhere. And I always put my hands out and I say, God, Jesus, if this is you, give me some more signs. I believe in you, point me to the direction. And then I'll walk over there. And if my wife's with me, great, it helps out. So it's very odd, right?
Yeah.
But I'll walk up to, even if they're eating dinner, I'll walk over to them. And I always do this. I go, excuse me, I'm so sorry to bother you. It's going to be very, very weird, right? I'm a messenger of God. I'm very spiritual. I have something I want to share with you. And everyone's always caught off guard. Everyone, man. And then I start sharing it. And all the time, my eyes are closed. So when I get my eyes are always closed. My hands start to shake a little bit. And I'll tell them my eyes are always closed. And I'll tell them very details all the time. And they always start crying. Or they always get teary-eyed.
No way.
All the time. Or God will say to me, hey, David, it feels like this person drowned, like their lungs had water in them. What happened? And they'll say, oh, well, they were in the hospital actually, and their lungs filled up with blood, so that's how they drowned. Right? Or I'll say, hey, I feel like this person had sharp pain like in their back, like really sharp pain. Oh, they had a tumor back there. That's how they died. Right? Or hey, my heart really hurts right now. Right? Did that person die from like a heart attack or heart issue? Yeah, they had a heart attack at 48 years old. So it's very detailed all the time. And this happens anywhere I go. And my thing is, it's always, God gives me a message, and I believe that these people at this stage in their life, because God knows more than we all do, God wants that person to hear that particular message for whatever reason. It's not my job to know why. It's just I deliver the message, I move on with my
Do
day.
whatever you want.
Right? But God wants that person for some reason to know that particular message, whatever it might be.
You know what I'm saying? It's
Yeah.
like, well, you're healing people. That's what you're doing around, brother. For real. Because it has to be. If it's something from your past that's coming back, it's to heal.
It's always out of love too.
Yeah.
Always out of love. So that's one thing that I have a spiritual gift on. Another one is I see the future, and it always comes true. And other things too is by that I mean I could be praying or meditating, and God will just say, "Hey, David, in the next 1 to 3 days, you're going to find someone with a yellow hat, and you're going to find them at a place outside or inside. And when you see this person with a yellow hat, I'm going to let you know." And so then, I'm waiting 1 to 3 days. For example, just a few weeks ago, I showed up at my kid's karate class. I sit down in this chair. This lady sits next to us 3 chairs over. My whole body lights up, just electrified, goosebumps everywhere, right? And I know, oh, it's God time, right? so I close my eyes, and I always say, God and Jesus, I'm here, I feel it, it's just the person. And God's like, hey, it's that lady 2 chairs over, right? Now, obviously, it's karate, things are a little crazy. I kind of have to get my timing on here, right?
Yeah.
But I go over to her, and I always ask God for more details, right? I don't ever want to just say, hey, someone died, because that's vague,
Yeah.
So I always ask God for more details, right? And I go to this person, and I go, hey, I feel like you had an uncle like Steve or Stevie that had this yellow hat that always loved to wear plaid. I just see plaid, right? I just see checkered images always in my head. And they always get shocked because initially they always want to think about like a husband or a son or a daughter. So I always kind of tell them, hey, just think, around 2 to 3 generations around your aunts, uncles, sisters. Usually about 5 seconds later, everyone always goes, oh my gosh, that was my uncle. He had a favorite yellow hat, loved plaid shirts all the time, and he died about 4 years ago. Wow. So I see a lot of future events that always come true. And sometimes I'll smell foods. I'll smell a lot of foods. I'll taste a lot of foods. And I'll run into a person, and God's like, hey, this is the person it's for. And I go, hey, I've been tasting like these kinds of biscuits. Now, I don't have a biscuit there, but it's like a biscuit. That's how I see it, right? And I talk to a person. I go, who passed away that loved these kind of weird biscuits? And they start laughing. Oh, that was from my cousin who lived in Europe. And I forget what the biscuit's called, but they had these kind of biscuits. And they would have them every morning for breakfast. And they smelled a certain way. Right? So that's other stuff that happens. And then the other thing I do a lot of, I call them soul healings.
Okay.
Right? That's what I call them.
I want to hear that one. I'm interested in that.
Yeah, these get
Heal
very
my soul, baby.
these get very intense. And so everyone knows out there, I've done over 300 soul readings. These are over an hour to 2 hours long. And these soul readings are super intense. And it's all with God going through me on here. And man, they are something. And so there's a process I have, and more than half the time, they're total strangers. And more than half the time, it's a friend who brings a friend to me that's a stranger. Or again, I could be somewhere on a vacation or trip, and God's like, this person needs a big soul healing. You just got to walk over to them. And on these soul healings, I never want to know anything. I don't want to know your name. I don't want to know anything about you. I want zero information. And I always, get comfy. I have you get comfy. I always grab a hand. I always grab hands, and I have lots of, we talk about it. It's very permissions. You can leave whenever you want. I always been God involved. I grab the hand, and I close my eyes, and oh man, and when I close my eyes, I just go to a new dimension, I guess you could say, and God brings me to parts of your life, anywhere, that are unresolved healing, that are still stuck or good pain, happy memories. God brings me to things that God wants you to know of or wants you to heal of. And it is such a journey, but God will always give me details. I always see like a baby could be 0 to 2 to me, or I could see a young kid, age 4 to 7, or a little older, or a teenager. So I'm always able to tell someone, hey, between 14 to 17, I feel like you ran away from home. I no longer see the parents. You're no longer in the house. Like, you feel like you ran away from home, 14 to 17. Yeah, I ran away from home at about 15 years old. Or I see a lot of traumas. And in my situation, oftentimes there's a lot of sexual assaults, a lot of rapes, a lot of physical abuse. And the way I can describe it is that it gets very intense for me, but God's always with me, is that I am literally in that physical location. And I'm like the invisible person, and I'm watching these atrocities happen in real time. Even though in reality, it might only be a few minutes, I'm in there 20, 30, 40 minutes. And, I had one here last month. Had one last month here, and with this, this gentleman, and he was probably 38, 39 years old. And I could just feel a lot of baggage in him, total stranger. And it brought me to his house, and I could see he was a little boy, about 4 to 6 years old. And then I could always see him peeking through this door. And it's going to be a little graphic here, so if you have kids listening to this, you might not want to have this happen. But 4 to 6 year old, he's peeking through this door. And again, I'm in this room, and I could see him looking in there. And there's this man. And this man, he has this little girl. And my hands are all sticking up. He has this little girl here, about maybe 5, 6 years old. And he is just doing some very sexual things to this little girl. And this boy was the brother. And and this brother, he never stopped this from happening. And it turns out it was this uncle who would always watch him and his sister. And the uncle had sexually abused this little 5-year-old girl for years and years. And this brother had such shame that he never stopped it because he couldn't stop it as a kid. But I would be in that room watching it over and over and over again with him. And I see all this, man, and I start to cry, and I feel it. I can see it now, flashbacks in here, but I see a lot of these horrible things. And and God, strengthens me to deal with it because it's a lot. And I see people get beat all the time. I see people get beat with sticks until blood comes down their legs. I see people get treated like shit by a mom or dad, right? I see it's just a lot of trauma, a lot of negativity. Now, there are happy moments that happen too, right? There's happy moments. Hey, this is amazing. You got married this day in life. You're having a kid right now. Hey, I feel one day you feel really good about yourself right now. But I would say more than half the time, it is just a lot of low vibration, low frequency, a lot of suppressed traumas that people have had in their lives that they just don't want to deal with, or a lot of guilt and shame they have.
What do you mean by low frequency? What do you mean by that?
Yeah, so everyone kind of says good vibes, right?
Yeah.
Hey, I'm good vibes this, good vibes that. But people don't really know they're saying that because vibes comes from actual vibrations, right? And vibrations and frequency are kind of part of the universe, but high vibrations could be joy, love, peace, kindness. Low vibrations are that depression, that anger, those darker states, right? Same with frequency, right? If we're all vibing on a high, love, kindness, and peace, we're going to kind of find each other. We're going to resonate because we're at that same frequency, right? However, if you're on a lower vibration and I'm on a higher vibration, and you come around me, it's called resonance, RESONANC. Our resonance, what's going to happen is typically if it's not a strong individual and I'm on a high vibration, I'm not strong enough, I get around you for too long, the lower vibrations always going to bring the higher vibration down. It just happens.
Yeah.
And the lower vibrations are always attracted to the higher vibrations unknowingly. That's just the way it works. And so that's why it's so important to be aware of your energy, be aware of those vibrations and that frequency, because it happens all the time.
And boundaries.
100%, yeah.
Boundaries.
Protections and those boundaries. So, I mean, those are the soul healings, and I'll see all that too. And again, it's always giving out dates, right? I mean, I could say, hey, 19 to 21 years old, I could feel like a sibling died. Yeah, my sibling committed suicide. Hey, I could see at age 28 to 29, I feel like you lost a child. Well, I had a miscarriage. right? Or hey, I see positive things coming, right? Hey, I feel like you got this new job. Like, did you get a new job yet? Well, no, but I was thinking about applying for it. Well, I'm already seeing you get it.
Oh,
So you should go apply for it, right? And then they do, and maybe 3 or 4 months goes by. Hey, I got that job, right?
that's
So,
really cool.
so that's what else happens, and then I just feel the energy of life.
Does it go like you can walk into someone and can you just read their energy? Can you feel their energy,
Yeah.
or do you have to do something different? I don't know. I don't know. That's what I'm.
No, so I have a lot of protections, a lot of prayer, a lot of meditation. You know, God's always with me, and so I always say my shield's always on, right? If God wants something to get through, God's gonna have it get through, right? My shield won't happen, but I always have negativity. I always have evil or demons always knocking, right? But it's like, hey, they can knock, but they can't get through because I'm not letting them through, and my shield of God is up. But I'm able to turn it all the way up or down when I want, unless God wants me to do something.
Okay.
So like if I was to sit here right now, maybe take 3 to 4 minutes, right? I could get in a meditative state with God where I would literally just leave this physical body and I would just go somewhere, right? Or you guys can't see here on the cameras, but there's like 6 people in this room right now, and and right, I can feel a whole collection of energies in here, right?
You just feel
So
that?
if I started to meditate right now, I guarantee you God would have me have a message to someone in here, right? That's just what happens.
No way.
Yeah.
Anybody?
Right. and so
There she goes,
and so and so that's just what happens, right? And so it's just yeah, it always happens, and that's why I call it soul readings, right? And so I don't like to use all these terms people use. I go, you know what? Here's what God's allowing me to do, and Jesus is within me. You can use the words you want to use, right? Clairvoyant, psychic, seer, whatever you want to use, right? But it's a knowing too, right? It's not like I'm talking to dead people. It's not like I'm talking to various people. It's always the same. I guess you call it voice is the easiest way to describe it. But it's just a knowing. It's just an instant knowing is what it is. So I'm not talking to dead people. I'm not seeing dead things. It's just God knows everything anyways. So if God wants to give you a message of someone who passed away, God already knows. I don't need to talk to a dead person because God knows everything, right?
Yeah.
So God would just
The
be like, hey,
source.
right, yeah. God would be, hey, you know what? Just give this message to Paco from, his great aunt so-and-so. Here's some details. Have it going, right? I'm not talking to your great aunt who's dead. It's just God giving me a message on that person's behalf.
Oh, yeah. You go to the source. The source knows everything.
Right. And then I also kind of say, I see as a clairvoyant, especially, tons of vivid images. And the way I can describe it is, it's like imagine having such vivid memories and such vivid flashbacks automatically injected into your head that are not yours.
Oh, damn. That was like, that's not fun.
Right. And so that happens too.
Oh, wow.
So, I tell everyone, hey, it's not butterflies and rainbows, right? There's a lot of pain, a lot of suffering. But this gift I have, I'm very humbled and grateful to have it. I have to always talk with God, pray, meditate, have protections in here. But again, it's scary. It's a roller coaster, right? But it's a great gift that I'm humbled to do out there unto the world. And I know many people, especially sadly in the Christian community, they don't understand this. And they want to say all sorts of negative things. However, there's tons of Christians out there that I've talked to that understand this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Right.
It is you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's coming within you. You know everything.
Yeah.
We are the source. Like it's the source. It's coming to you and talking to you and explaining everything to you.
And the default always is, oh, it's got to be the devil. That's always the default by people that don't have an understanding or people that are afraid or people that are controlled. The default answer is it's always the devil. I go, why can't it be the Holy Spirit? Why can't it be God? Oh, I don't have the gift. No one in my church has the gift, so it must be the devil. And it's like, listen, I never asked for this gift, right? I did this to get rid of my stress and get all my fear, and I got this, but I'm not afraid to speak or act on God's behalf. And I believe God chooses people anywhere in this world, right? Not just Americans, right? In America, we have this whole mentality of like, we're the God-chosen people. It's like, listen, God will choose anybody anywhere on this planet at any point in time, right? And whether my journey lasts my whole life or my journey is just a short while, for right now, this is just the way it is.
At this moment.
Right? At this moment, right?
Yeah, that's what I would say. At this time, at this moment, this is where I am. Because I would say this in Spanish. I say, yo no sé mañana. Like, I don't know tomorrow. I don't. Like, there's no one who knows what the hell's going to happen tomorrow. So
No.
you just got to go stay here.
right? And I tell them, hey, listen, I'm no better. I'm no worse, right? I'm just a person. I have this, spiritual gift is what I currently have. I'm using it in my own way, but I'm still human. I'm still a father. I'm still a husband. I still have flaws. I still have mistakes, right? I still have the devil and demons come knocking at my door. If anything, I get more demons that knock at my door because of the light of love I'm exploring out there. However, my protections are so much higher because God's with me a lot too.
Yeah, that's awesome. Any other questions from the back? Anybody?
It's a different topic, man. I know, right? And so, you have a question?
Anybody
No,
have a
okay.
question? Okay.
And so that's why, like, my wife Ashley and I, a couple of years ago, we have a spirituality channel too, Enlightenment United. It's been on YouTube and on TikTok, right now, Enlightenment United. But that's where we've always just talked about our spiritual journey. That's where we've always shared meditation or breath work. We've always shared the self-awakening. But we really specialize in couples. That's the big thing too, is on how couples need to have that spiritual journey, and couples can do meditations, couples can do breath work, couples can pray together, right? But it's having that soul connection as a couple. And, when I was in Costa Rica just over New Year's, my wife and I were there. And, there's certain moments where I'm always connected with God, but every once in a while, it is, there's no words, but Jesus just comes to me. And it is just so different. And it might be every 4 months, could be every 8 months, right? But it's just such a profound difference. And we were in Costa Rica, no kids, 2 weeks, and we were just sitting on this cloud mountain they had there in Costa Rica, this lodge, El Silencio Lodge, is beautiful in the clouds. We were out there on this porch and in the clouds, and we were just sitting in stillness with nature, with God. And this kind of storm starts to come about, and I just go into a zone. And man, I just got teleported, like wood logs all around me. And I saw this white light come in, and this white light had holes in the feet. And I just fell to the ground, and I was just like, I just, it can't even explain it. And, Jesus is just like, hey, you can get up. I know you love me. It's okay. And it was just so different. And then Jesus just starts, talking to me. And then I remember Jesus puts his hands on my neck. And it's like, hey, your voice will be heard loud and clear. Like your voice will be a trumpet. Use your voice, keep speaking more out there, which is why I do things like social media and everything too. And then out of nowhere, Jesus is like, hey, I want you, when you wake up in the physical body, I want you just to start walking. So off the porch in Costa Rica, there's always rocks everywhere. And as soon as we start rocking, the loudest lightning ever just strikes. And we're up in the high clouds, and a big gust of wind comes in, and heavy rain just hits all at the same time. As soon as I start walking, and God's like, hey, are you gonna run back to the porch? Or are you gonna keep walking like an ass? And I got my wife's hand. I said, hey, you just gotta trust me. She just knows I'm very in tune. And so she goes with me. We walked a good 20 yards just in this heavy superstorm, getting soaked in lightning. It was freezing. And I got to a point where I just felt this peace. And God's like, hey, you've listened. You can go back now. And that night was when I had this idea that I needed to reach out to fathers and husbands. Because, I'm a father, I'm a husband. And I know so many fathers and husbands that have so much stress, anxiety, domestic violence, have affairs. They hide, they shelter away. And so that's why April this month, it finally came out with it's called the Order of the Ascended Man.
Okay.
So the Order of the Ascended Man, it's a free Facebook group. So it's on Facebook, where it's for men who are fathers and husbands, where we're sharing the spiritual journey, right? So it's not religious based, it's God-centered, love-centered, but it's to help men on that spiritual wellness journey and to get rid of the stigmas and to kind of show men that you can be a warrior, you can be a spiritual person, and to help men really find that self-love, to have their light shine inward to outward and no longer wear so many masks.
What was the name of that again?
The Order of the...
Is it on Facebook? And
yeah,
Instagram?
Facebook group. Yeah, it's on Facebook group only right now.
Through your journey,
Mhm.
have you encountered somebody who's possessed?
So her question was, on my journey, have I encountered someone who's possessed? And by that, I'm referring to like a demon, a devil or demon, correct? So yes, I have with God, of course, and Jesus, right? I have helped people, Catholics call it exorcism, right? I use that word so you get some context, but I have with Jesus cast out demons in people. And when that happens, there's 3 times I've done that, and that was very intense. And before going to it, I really prayed to God because I could feel heavy energy. And God always just showed me getting wet afterwards. Hey, it just shows me making a shower or something afterwards. And when I went to this person, and when demons know someone like me comes around, they know, right? They just instantly know, oh my gosh, this guy with the light, he's coming around. We got to get him out of the house. So lights will start to flicker in the house, right? Well, if lights flickering in the house, the energy gets very intense in there, goosebumps everywhere. And when I grab their hand, right, in the name of Jesus on there, it is just you can feel these demons just screaming in anguish, and they're trying to pull the physical human away from me so it doesn't happen. And it is just, it is a process. And when these demons are taken out of these people's soul, they're trying to get to me, but my light's so strong with God, it's just heavy knocking is all it really is. And then they were just freed back into the world, right? They're cast out of that home, cast out of that life. And whenever I get done doing a soul reading, or if demons go away, anyone knows this too. I instantly always drink. I'm not even joking. Everybody knows I drink a whole gallon of water right away. Any soul reading, I drink a full gallon of water right away, and then I always have to walk outside barefoot. Everyone knows this too. I have to walk outside barefoot, grass or dirt, it doesn't matter. And ideally, I have to find a tree. I always put my hand on a tree, and that is just how my instant, call it cleansing, call it connection with God, whatever it is. It's that gallon of water, my feet on the earth, and my hand on a tree, and I do that. But when those demons, especially, leave these people, they feel something they've never felt in their life. It's just a lightness, a freeness to them, and their lives are forever changed on there. But it's all with God that these things happen. And these people that I help too, just so everyone knows, these are everyday normal people, right?
That's what I was going to ask
Right.
you.
I'm talking people that are in their 50s, people in their 30s. I'm talking husbands, wives, doctors, lawyers, engineers, people that are multimillionaires, business owners, to the average person on the street, right? So these are all very educated people, successful people, or the average Joe people. So it's not like I'm just helping out people who you might think are, oh, he helped them out because they're an average Joe. He duped them. These are very smart, educated people. A lot of times they are very religious. Sometimes they're not religious, right? But when you confront someone with such truth of God's love and light, there's nothing that you can do other than say, I don't know what just happened here, but something definitely happened.
You're the way, like this people puts tools right there. It's like a way to help.
Right. And I always say, hey, I'm not the healer, right? I'm the guide, right? So I'm not here to heal you. I'm just the guide that helps God, helps you. And together we can heal yourself, but you have to be part of that.
So you connect to the person through by holding their hand.
That's my strongest method. Yeah, holding a hand is by far my strongest connection for sure, 100%. Now, I have done, he's probably watching this right now, I have done a virtual reading before, and I've never done that. About 2 years ago, someone on social media reached out, total stranger, and said, hey, I've been following you. I'd love for you to do a reading with me on here. And I never want information. Talked to my wife, talked to God about it. And God started just showing me so much information about this person that I did a live Instagram with this person in a chat room. And that was just profound. But God let me just deliver so much stuff to this person out of love that this person needed to hear that now helped that person on their own journey. Wow. So they're always total strangers too, but it's always out of love.
How do they find you? So Facebook, Instagram?
Yeah, on TikTok, and everyone wants to reach out, right? But I tell everyone, hey, listen, like, I'm just one person, right? I can't do 1,000 connections. Because it takes a lot of energy out of me, right? It takes a lot out of me. Yeah. It takes a lot of time to put into these things on here. But again, I've done this with I've done 300 soul readings, actually the hand ones, the hour to 2 hour ones, with 300 different people for several years. And when it comes to just like the restaurants and grocery stores and the gym stuff, I mean, that's well over 500 people that I'm giving a message to that as well. But again, right, it's the glory to God. I'm just the vessel that's delivering stuff out there.
Wow, that's super cool. Anyway, if there's not questions on Instagram, thank you for being in the room. Yeah. Obviously, it's not gonna be the first and the last time that you're gonna be here. So we're gonna see you more often and hang out, and we're gonna do some crazy stuff.
Yeah,
crazy fun stuff. So looking forward to it. All right, thanks so much.
All right, thanks, man.
Robert, thank you so much. And how we doing back there? Thank you, guys. Love you long time.
Thank you.
Wow.
Is that TikTok one on there?